All right. So, good evening. For those that may not know me, I am Dr. Felicia, physiotherapist and certified health coach. Okay. I have been a registered physiotherapist here in the Bahamas for 9 years. I have been running a successful private practice over in the Mackey Street Plaza, formerly known as the Meldon Mall. And I've been in that plaza for 4 years, but I've been in private practice for 5. And in private practice, I have helped hundreds of patients reach their physiotherapy goals. And now I'm able to help hopefully thousands more in the years to come reach not only their physiotherapy goals, but their health and wellness goals also. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring our guest on for this evening. Hi, Leanne.
Hi, good night. How are you?
I'm excellent. And you?
Good. I am wonderful. It's so good to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me. And hey, everybody who's watching, especially your audience. I'm excited to be here with you.
Awesome, awesome. All right, I'm trying to see if that will let me make any further adjustments. Good evening, the sister girl. Good evening, B. Talon. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the stream. I'm Dr. Felicia, physiotherapist and certified health coach, here with Leanne Sims. So, this again is an opportunity for persons to like, share, follow, tag. Okay, leave us some comments there. We love an interactive audience. Okay, so this evening's topic is secrets to living with confidence. And just a quick reminder to everybody, any information that we do share in this broadcast is not to be taken as any sort of medical advice. We don't know the specifics of anybody's situation or case. It's just general information that we are sharing here, okay? And we expect it to be a really good discussion this evening. All right. So, a little bit about my special guest, Leanne Sims, this evening. All right. So, from a size 24 to a size 6 and back again. Leanne Sims has been on that ride. She's been intimate with the varied perspectives and emotions related to weight loss and yo yo diets. She's glowed with the excitement that comes with exchanging a dress for the next size down. Okay. She's experienced the embarrassment of having to exit a roller coaster after the attendant couldn't buckle her into the seat. How's that for confidence? What she has learned along this journey has become her mission's core message. Insecurities don't magically disappear with the pounds on the scale. After losing at weight loss, Leanne has been on a winning streak. She's located the fountain of true confidence and has authored a book, The Weight Loss Diva. Discover the discipline, inspiration, victory, and acceptance within you, where she gives real talk insight to finding and embracing authentic confidence. Leanne is the founder of Fit and Fab Lifestyle, an accountability community where women can celebrate where they are while pursuing the best version of themselves. Now, that sounds wonderful. This size inclusive wellness advocate has been featured in Shape, Essence Magazine, various local media publications, and appeared on The Today Show. Glowing with and flowing in confidence, Leanne has represented brands like Lane Bryant, The Loft, and Athleta. She is a sought after motivational speaker, philanthropist, and resides in Maryland with her husband Mike, who she affectionately and publicly calls her king. All right, I thought that was the cutest part of the whole bio.
Had to give him a shout out.
I know. They like that, don't they? They need a little confidence boost too, right? But except when it's men, I think we call it what? Ego? It's confidence for us ladies and ego for men, I think. But to our listening audience, if you can let us know if you are able to hear us clearly and see us on both platforms, if you could drop a one if you can hear and see us on Instagram, and a 1 if you can hear and see us on Facebook, just to let us know how our transmission is this evening. And hello to all of those that are popping onto the stream this evening. So just let us know if you can see and hear us on both platforms by dropping a 1 in the comments. Okay. I see a number 1. Okay, I see some number 1s over here on Instagram. Okay, Facebook, let us know what's going on, okay? But Leanne, tell us a little bit about you. So outside of your coaching work, like, who is Leanne?
Yeah. So who is Leanne? And just confirm you can still hear me, Dr. Felicia. Just switch my audio to help with the background noise. So who is Leanne? Leanne is joy. A lot of times we lead with what we do and how we perform, what we can produce and what we output. But I like to lead with the core of who I am, and who I am is joy. And that's actually something that has helped me to build and boost and sustain my confidence, because when I walk into
Mhm.
any room, I consider at the core who I am versus what's wrong or what's right with me, what I'm strong at, what I'm not strong at, etc. And so, who I am is joy. What I do is I am your confidence coach. So, what that means is I work with women from all over the world to help them to identify the barriers to their confidence and some of the missteps that they have ran into when it comes to building confidence. Help them to identify that, and then we develop an action plan that they execute immediately to remove those barriers so that they can live the life that they desire and deserve to live. What that looks like is I have coaching programs. One is called Club Expand. It's our 12-month coaching program where we really dive into the day to day nuances of life that can cause you to potentially go into a pit of despair, if you will. But we work with kind of in time support all throughout the year to help people to get out of those barriers that's in the way of their confidence. And then one of my favorite programs is our 90-day accelerator program, where, throughout the 90 days, we get a chance to really accelerate quickly from where you start to where you're going to end, which is having a clear plan and path for you to build that sustainable confidence. And then we have courses too, and all sorts of things. But at the core of all of my work, what I do is I work with women, especially to help them to remove those barriers that are in their way of their confidence so they can live boldly the way that they deserve and desire to live.
Wow, that was a mouthful, Leanne. You have a lot going on. You have a lot going on, but that is awesome. That is awesome. I love how you have all of the different levels, so for persons
Mhm.
that perhaps are not ready to make the 12-month commitment, you have a little something that's shorter for them, the 3-month, the 90-day. So that's excellent. It's excellent
Yeah,
to have those options for persons so that you can meet women basically where they are, So that's
absolutely.
yes, I love that. I love that. So tell us then, what exactly is a confidence coach?
Well, let's start with what is a coach, right? Because a lot of people don't even know what a coach is. And perhaps your audience does, because you're an amazing coach here and you work with people every single day, and whether it be physiotherapy or in your health coaching practice. So, oftentimes people are not sure what's the difference between a coach and a therapist. So let's break that down a little bit. So a therapist is someone who, of course, is licensed. Where a coach, there's many coaches who are certified, although you don't have to be. And they really focus on how do you focus on the future and taking action to change the course of your trajectory. A therapist will focus on diving into your past patterns, behaviors, your life experiences in order to get to some of the root causes of why, to understand why you're behaving the way you are. I like to say put them both together, because if you once you understand the why, now you need to move forward and figure out what actions can I take to create a new path for me or to clear the path that I have. So that's what a coach is. And so what a confidence coach is specifically, I clear the path when it comes to barriers to your confidence. So what is confidence? Confidence is really essentially acting on what you believe to be true about yourself. It's similar to faith, right? But true confidence is grounded in a couple of things. One, who you are, and then also whose you are. And so, what I mean by that, the who you are is at the core. When you take off all the layers, do you know who you are? Are you secure in that? And the whose you are is who are you connected to? For me, I'm a God girl, so it's connected to God. Some people call God a higher being, whatever that might be for you. For me, it's God. And then it's also your ancestry, right? Your family life, your village. What are the shoulders that you're standing on that brings you strength? So it's having full assurance and confidence in those things, knowing it for sure, regardless of the way that the wind blows in our life. One of the biggest missteps with confidence is that a lot of times we focus it on the things or how good we are at something. Even the dictionary defines confidence as, how much you trust or believe in someone or something, their abilities or your abilities. But the thing is, when you enter into a new room or to a new opportunity in life, you might feel like you have low confidence because you don't know how to operate. You don't have the skills matured and refined enough in a specific area. But that should not um, muddy the confidence that you have in who you are. So, a confidence coach is I work with people to properly define both of those things. And when you put them together, it sets you on the proper path so you can enter into any room like a boss that you are.
I love that. I love that. You are definitely flowing tonight, Mrs. Sims. You are flowing. You are flowing.
You got me
I love
excited.
that
I love talking
distinction.
about this.
Yes, yes, it shows, it shines through for sure. So I love your distinction between the therapist and the coach. That was an excellent explanation for those that may have been kind of wondering. Thanks for the hearts there. Please continue to throw up those hearts so that more people will be alerted that we are live right now. Thanks for that. But yes, I was saying that I love that you were able to make that distinction between what a therapist is and does and what a coach is and does. I think
Yes.
that's an important distinction because we have so many different things available, right? We have so many different types of professionals available that can assist us, but we need to know and define what is good for which situation, and like you said, it's good to even put these things together because it can be difficult in the marketplace to decide, hey, what is it that I need now? What do I need first, second, third, fourth, fifth? We all know that we need something, right, to help us to move forward. And like you said, in many cases, coaches is just the thing that is needed. So I love that. And I love that you've kind of defined then what confidence is. Okay.
Yeah.
And interesting. That just brings me to another point. So what does a confident woman look like, sound like, behave like in your book?
Yeah, so it behaves like you know who you are and whatever that looks like for you. And so why I didn't go through I think the stereotypical description that many people would associate with confidence. I didn't do that because I think oftentimes we or people perform their way to make themselves appear to be confident, but really you're not. And so when you even hear, about, I don't need no confidence coach, I'm confident, right? Put a one in the box if you've been thought about. I don't have an issue with confidence. And I want to know for real. And you may not, but evaluate every area of your life, right? Because it's okay or oftentimes people are confident in most areas or many areas where you feel secure, assured, you know what you're doing. But there might be that one area, maybe even one that you hide from other people, but you are trying to mask it by outperforming your way in other areas. When in the long term, when you do that, it's not sustainable and you can ultimately burn yourself out. So, one example of that, as a Black American woman and probably many Black women across the African diaspora across the world, there is a lot of pressure to be strong, to be, in charge, to be fly, all the time, to have stuff together. And so when you don't feel like you got it all together all the doggone time, internally, it can start to chip away at the security that you feel like you are, right? You lose a little bit of that confidence in who you are. I'm like, well, I'm supposed to match this image, but I don't feel that way. So what's up? Right. And so what starts to happen is you outperform in the workplace, in your business, or maybe you do the most in your relationship at the sacrifice of yourself. And so you continue to downwardly spiral in that one area because you're not really addressing what the issue is, right? And so to me, a confident woman looks like, feels like, talks like, acts like she is okay with holistically who she really is, right? So this is something I've had to coach myself in or seek coaching for, and too, like it's okay to not have it all together in every single area, right? And sometimes it's just okay to know that you're not alone, which is the biggest benefit of the way that I do my coaching programs, because we do group, right? Because you get the opportunity to be in a room with other amazing women in so many other areas, and you realize I am not alone. I think the biggest issue, one of the biggest issues out there is we begin to self isolate, but that only brings on ultimately death, right? Whether it be spiritually, emotionally, physically. And so a woman who is confident looks like you are comfortable in your own skin, whatever that skin looks like. You may not be perfect in every area, but you know that and you're okay with it because you know that you're growing through life and not just going trying to get through life. So my encouragement to you, even while you're on here, I want you to put two things in the comments, if that's okay with Dr. Felicia. Put in one thing that you're really amazing at. Maybe it's a thing that people ask you to do all the time at work, or the advice that your girlfriend calls you about all the time. Put one thing that you're known for, that you're really great at, and put one thing that you know you're weak in, that you need help in. And I want us to take a moment and sit with that and know I'm okay. That's confidence.
Yes, yes, I love that. Take this opportunity, everyone, to go ahead and do those two things, as Leanne suggests. One thing that you're great at, and one thing that maybe you're not so great at, right? So definitely go ahead and drop those things in the comments if you're comfortable sharing that. Please do go ahead. I went ahead and dropped my number one in the comments. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I dropped my number one in the comments because it's really so true. And a lot of the time, society, I think, can place a lot of pressure on particularly women to live up to this particular standard of what they think confidence is or looks like, and the truth is that we are all working in at least one area, if not more. Everybody is really a work in progress. Nobody's perfect. No one is the complete picture of total confidence. Like you said, there's some area that you may hide it. Okay. Mm-hmm. You hide it because you don't want anyone to know. And then, there's a whole thing about, shame and all of that. So that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
So yes, there are some parts of us that we hide, the parts that we don't really feel that confident in. Those are the things that we hide, and we don't want to expose it ourselves to the world, really. All right. So that was all really good.
And I see that Thompson Rain, maybe your name's Rain Thompson, contributed. So I wanted to just acknowledge them for that, saying that customer service is you're good in, one of your strengths, public speaking, not so good. Congratulations. And thank you for being vulnerable enough and confident enough to share. Like, that is huge. And so the fact that you're sitting on here on this live, and for the two women who speak publicly often, take the notes that you need to take so you can refine that skill if that's something that you want to. If you don't, then oh well. But I figured because you mentioned it, it's something you probably want to work in, and investigate how to do that. And figure out how you can leverage what you are really strong in, like customer service, to leverage those skills to help you build up your public speaking abilities. Customer service, you have to speak with people all the time who you do not know, who maybe you may not normally be comfortable with. Maybe they don't not comfortable with you, but you find a way to bless their entire life with your presence, maybe even your smile alone. That can be applied completely to public speaking. It's really the same principle. You get in front of a room of people who you don't know, you delight them, and you share how you can serve. That's what public speaking is. You're serving your audience.
Excellent, excellent. I do hope that you all are taking notes, okay? This live stream will be up for a limited time following this evening for those that need to go back and take the notes, okay? If you happen to miss anything this evening, you'll have an opportunity to watch it again, all right? And for anyone that may have joined late in the stream, good evening to you, Dr. Felicia, physiotherapist and certified health coach here with Leanne Sims, confidence coach. Okay, dropping a lot of nuggets tonight. Okay, so make sure that you taking this in. Really take it into your spirit, okay? And then if you need to take the notes, as Leanne said, please feel free to do that also so that you can have it to look back upon. Yes, and let's see, Rain says that she wants to work on it, which is good. The fact that you're here, definitely we give you credit for that. And the fact that you're willing to share, we give you credit for that as well. You showed up for yourself tonight, and for that, you should be proud. All right, so how did you actually get into confidence coaching?
It's a great question. It started with my own journey, my own personal wellness journey. So, more than 10 years ago, maybe about 12 or so years ago now, I ventured onto a journey to lose weight. At the time, I was nearly 300 pounds, about 289 pounds. I remember all the numbers to be exact. And I had always been the chubby kid, the thick teen, all those things. Never had an experience in a smaller body. And so I always thought that to be successful meant that I had to be successful in a smaller body. And so I lost the weight. I ended up losing 144 pounds through diet, exercise, all those things, and was celebrated for it publicly, was in Essence Magazine, the Today Show, and Shape Magazine, and other local publications, all for that exterior accomplishment. But I got there to that 144-pound weight loss and felt like this is not all it's cracked up to be. I thought that I was going to be and feel confident, bold, sexy, all of those things at that smaller weight. But instead, I felt more vulnerable and less confident than I did before. And the reason is because I built that hope on a foundation of false confidence. So you may be asking, what is false confidence? False confidence is when everything about you is based in at the external, what you can achieve, what you can accomplish, how you look, how people perceive you to be, people pleasing. When really, as we've learned, confidence should be grounded in who you are. And so I gained all the weight back, plus 58 pounds on top of that, bringing me to, nearly 350 pounds by the top of 2017. And so at the top of that year, I decided, okay, enough is enough. I knew I was gotten to a place where I felt good about myself. I mean, I always carried myself well, dressed well, and had lots of friends and dated and all those things. People saw me as very confident, but internally, I felt like something was missing. I had kind of a fire burning on the inside of me, wanting more, but I didn't know how to get to more. And so at the top of 2017, someone spoke into my life and said, hey, by the end of this year, you're going to meet somebody who's going to change your life forever. Didn't really know what that meant. But I decided that I would start my wellness journey and bring other people along with me. So I started Fit and Fab Lifestyle, which you heard about earlier, community of women who come together through conferences and other sorts of things to be an accountability community, an encouraging community where you can love yourself regardless of where you are on your personal wellness journey. And so at this conference, I met a personal trainer, a coach who I ended up hiring to be my coach. But I'm sharing that story because once I made the decision that I wanted to do my wellness differently, I wanted to do it focusing on addressing, creating a proper foundation, addressing the internal, addressing, understanding, and being confident in who Leanne is. Hey, Marcy, and not just how I look and what I can do. It changed the game for me. And so that's where the confidence coaching started to begin. It began in hearing women, whether they were size 28, whether they were 72 years old or 22 years old, or size 6, or petite or tall. Many women and men talk to me about their issues with confidence. And so I wrote the book about my own personal wellness journey, Weight Loss Diva, which is available at Amazon and on my links online here on Instagram. Wrote that about my own personal journey, and really wasn't a book about weight loss, but it was a book about my journey of self-acceptance. And so over the past 3.5 years or so, because I committed to building confidence the right way, because I committed to pursuing wellness the right way, I've lost 185 pounds naturally, no shots, no shakes, no surgeries, but with the mindset focused on having the proper foundation for the journey. And so that's my why of why I coach women around this, because I got to a goal that many people applauded before and many people desire. But I wanted to go back to warn people that if you when you can have that goal, it's a great goal, but make sure it's grounded in the right thing. And so that's why I coach women on confidence. And a lot of women who are attracted to my community have desires around overall holistic well-being.
Wow. Now that is truly amazing. That is truly
Yeah.
amazing. And it's
Mhm.
so hard for me to see you today and to even picture you at that size.
I
I
got pictures
cannot
I can
imagine.
show you.
You should have I wish you had sent me the pictures so we could share them with our audience because
Absolutely. Go to my
definitely
Instagram page. You'll see them. Just scroll down. Actually, on my highlights, you'll see my weight loss story there.
wow, that's so definitely. So make sure that you all do that, okay? Because seeing is believing, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah. I
today's
think
world.
I see a couple people, familiar faces. Hey, Marcy, one of my original mentors around the world
Oh,
with Nelda is my mother in love. A couple people from my coaching group, Sabrina. Hey, y'all. Um, yeah. My
that's so
husband just
awesome.
messaged me. I don't think he knows I'm on this live and says he may have a flat tire. So,
Uh-oh.
Nelda, if you're on, can you please call him or text him and tell him I can't call him right now? I'm on my phone. Please help my husband.
But help the king. The king needs some
Help the
help.
king. The king needs some help. Leave my
Help the
baby
king. The king.
stranded.
The king needs some help. You can't leave the king caught out there.
Can't leave the king caught out
Yeah,
there.
leave the king caught out there.
I
Not
digress.
at all.
I
I
digress.
know. I know. Let's see. Laverne over here in Facebook land says, great story. Betty says, very interesting. It is a great story. It's awesome when you have that story that connects you to what it is that you do. And we're gonna segue into that in just a moment. And Marcia Myers says she's so proud of you and everything that you
Oh,
represent. So that is
thank
an
you so
excellent
much. Love
endorsement.
you, love you, love you.
Excellent endorsement there.
Yeah.
So, like, speaking of now this story and this journey, what do you consider to be your life's mission?
My life's mission. So, I desire to help women. I want, well, ultimately at the core, I want every person to know and understand their value. That's why I do what I do with coaching. That's why I do what I do in every other area of my life. It threads through. And it's also to present and bring the joy. I am joy. And so it's a part of my purpose to elevate any room that I'm in with that spirit of joy.
Mm, powerful. All right. Excellent. And I think we kind of like talked about this a bit, how your personal journey really, you said it's a journey that you, while you were embarking upon round two for yourself, you decided to you decided to take others along with you. What do you think the difference was between the first time when you did it alone and then the second time of taking others along with you? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, great question. So the first time, as I mentioned, my whole goal was weight. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. And it drove me, it got me to losing weight. But because that was the goal, I didn't have a vision for what happens after I lose weight. What is life after weight loss? And if you talk to women who've lost a significant amount of weight, you'll hear a similar story where there's a little bit of questioning and identity. There is discomfort in this new body because if you've grown accustomed to being in a certain body or frame or showing up in a certain way, it can shake you if you don't approach it in the right way. That's why weight loss programs talk about the maintenance phase, right? And all of those things, which I, totally jumped out of. I was like, I ain't doing that, which is why I gained back 190 pounds, right? So, do the maintenance.
Do
And
the
so
maintenance.
do the maintenance. But how I approached it the second time was the only thing I wanted was I said, I want to live a life where I feel well from the inside out and I can enjoy life and not live life in restriction. And so the second time I learned a couple of things. One, I learned the difference between restriction and discipline. With restriction, there is fear, there's punishment, there is almost like a beating down of yourself, right? You're punishing yourself because you did bad, you ate bad, so you have to go to the gym, or you didn't work out, so you gonna do an extra 20 minutes on the treadmill. Like it was out of punishment. You hate the way that you look, so you're going to make yourself be conformed into this image that you see. That was the first time. But the second time, the best way, in my opinion and in my experience, to move through a weight loss program is start with self-love. And self-love is such a theoretical kind of notion, but truly self-love is I love myself, so I'm going to create guardrails to get to the goals that I have for myself. I'm going to create boundaries so that I protect myself from poor decisions that are not contributing to the life that I want to live. I love myself, so I choose to eat this or to exercise this way or to journal this day because I know that it gets me closer to the life, the mindset, the physicality that I deserve, that I want. And so when you look at it as lifing versus a project that you want to hurry up and finish in the next 6 months, I got to lose 10 pounds or however many pounds, then it's easy. It makes the process easier to get through. While I took off a specific number goal and timeline. I was good for a timeline, Dr. Felicia. It was always okay. In 30 days, I'm lose 2 pounds a week, so I can get to X number of pounds by the end of it. But that wasn't working for me. So I took the timelines off, which was the most difficult thing for me because that was a safety net, having a timeline or having the restriction. I didn't know how to do life healthily without restriction. And so when I could do it with discipline versus restriction, there's a trust, a confidence that you build in yourself, knowing that I am going to protect myself by making good choices. I'm going to exercise discipline because I love this person that I'm looking at in the mirror every day. It's also, loving yourself through the process. Like my trainer, jokes, she's like, you always take a picture. Yes, it don't matter what size I am. Fine, it's fine. I'm still fine. I want to
Hey,
look good, smell good, all those things. Like it just because you're not fitting in the size 8 jeans that maybe you wanted to, doesn't mean that you're not attractive or whatever it is. It just means that you're on your journey. And so it's getting to the point where you can embrace where you are while you're on your journey. And see, Marcia,
yes.
I love that lifing. Yes, lifing.
Yes. Yes.
It's a
Yes.
life thing, life thing.
Yes, we have to
And
look at
I
it
think
that way, like they say,
we have a
lifestyle
little
change.
bit of a delay. Dr. Felicia, it's circling
I
on me.
think so. Yes, I see that here on Instagram as well. So let's see if that's
Not
going to
sure if
pick
we're still
back up.
connected.
Let me see if you're back.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're coming back.
Okay, yeah, I lost you for a second. And my headphones, I think, dropped off too. That's okay. I can still hear you if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Great, great, great. So yeah, so that's kind of, that's a little bit of the background.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I love your story. Excellent. I see that we have some other comments here that this is amazing, so powerful. That's from Kara. It is. It truly is to hear about your journey, and very interesting that you would mention taking off those restrictions, taking off the timelines. You still able to hear?
I can. My
Okay.
headphones went out, but I can still hear you.
Okay. All right. Yes,
All
most
right. Yes,
definitely.
most definitely.
Yes. So
Yes.
interesting that you would say
Interesting that you
to
would say
remove the
to remove the
timelines,
timelines
because you know that
because
that
you
is
know that
something
that's
that
something that
generally, you
generally
hear
we
about
hear about
SMART
smart
goals,
goals.
Mhm.
and
And
they always
they
have a
always have a
timeline on them.
timeline
What's the
on
time
what's the
frame
time
that you want
frame
to
that
do
you
it
want
in?
to do it in.
Same thing with therapy. It's always in a time frame. When do you want to meet this goal? It's something that's actually required in that field. But
Mhm.
interesting that when you take that timeline off, and I would say then it's somewhat equivalent to taking off the pressure,
Mhm.
taking the pressure off of yourself, really and truly, right? So,
Absolutely.
and
That's
amazing the
exactly what you want
effect
to
that
do.
it had. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's taking the pressure off. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where you truly get to living a life of true well-being, right? I want to be well and live well, not just do well at a diet project, right? You want to be well. And one of my pastors would say, "You're a human being, not a human doing." And so the
Mm.
same thing with wellness. You want to be well, live well, not just do well-ish things. I drink a smoothie, so I'm well, or I exercised real hard yesterday, so I'm well. No, your life needs to be well, sis, right? And so when you take the timelines off, it releases that pressure of having to do something by a certain time, and it gives you the freedom to grow through the process. A lot of people celebrate my progress, but they don't understand the process that it took to get there. So it wasn't only making different food choices or exercise choices that was a big part of it, but it was also, the first couple of years I wasn't losing weight as quickly as people have seen in the past, year or two, right? It was a slow churn because a lot of the work I was doing was internal. I was discovering things about myself that I didn't know were there. Picking up the blanket and saying, "Oh, I didn't know that deficit was there. Let's work on it. Let's fix it." Facing the really tough things about myself that I needed to address because I wanted to be the best version of myself that God called me to be, because I deserve it. And so a big part of this confidence thing is around worthiness and feeling like you deserve all of the goodness that you desire to have. Do you feel worthy? Right? Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel worthy? And so I want you all to take a moment, even after this life, to think about that question: Am I worthy? And truly and sincerely ask the question, because that might be tied to some of the areas that you're hesitant in, the failures to launch, the starts and stops, the inconsistency is all connected to, I don't feel like I'm worthy of really achieving that goal that I've been setting out to do. So consider that. That's at the core of confidence issues. Oh, Marcy asked a question, but I think she said, can you scroll up? And what was her question? With that said, how do you measure your goals? Oh, good. So I'm big on measuring still. I'm project manager type thing. I like to have goals and achieve things. I just changed the goals. So I didn't measure weight loss. Instead, I measured my progress with activity. I also measured how my clothes fit. I measured my endurance level, how I was able to run farther or faster, how I could talk and sing and exercise at the same time, not feel like I was going to die. Like that to me showed that progress was being made. I also measured my thoughts. I started to notice, oh, I don't have the same level or same amount of negative thoughts that I had before. So it's like paying attention to the things that might be more hidden, and applying that. And if you want specific things, you can write down, okay, have the goals tied to actions. So within the next 90 days, I want to walk 3 times a week for the next 90 days. Like that's a goal that you can measure and still check off and shows progress, but it builds consistency and is not tying you to having to make your body produce the release of a number. If you do the work, your body's going to do what it does. It's science, right? Most of the time, the issues with plateaus and stuff like that, they can be changed with a couple of things physically, but a lot of times it's mentally. If you're facing a plateau, consider, what cares am I holding on to? If you feel stuck, like have writer's block, like let's say you've been trying to work on writing a book for a while, but you can't seem to get past page 2. What is going on? What are you carrying? If you have extra weight, that last 5 pounds that you can't get rid of, a lot of times it's attached to a care, a worry, anxiety, the pressures of life that are going on. Go back to that. That's where the real work comes in. And that's the type of work that we do, that I've done personally, and that I do with my coaching clients as well.
Wow. That was another little insightful segment right there. Okay. And I think someone made a comment here that this is good for every area of life, right? And that is so true. That was Miss.T_4. This is good for every area of life. So true. Okay, definitely. And I like what you did with the taking off the timelines, but you still have things that you're able to measure.
Mhm.
And I've heard it described as almost like having milestones, where it's
Yeah.
like I couldn't do this before, now I can. Or I would have some of my clients describe it as, oh, well, I put on this shirt and this shirt used to be really tight in the arms and now it's not tight anymore. It's actually really loose. So these are the things that maybe it's not okay, I lost 5 pounds this week, but it's something that's still that they can see that it's made a difference. So that's important right there. And that internal work. It's not just, like you said, it's not just the numbers on the scale. It's really, really so much more than that. It's really what's going on the inside that can affect the outside as well. So definitely. Marcia Myers says, yes, get it. Thank you.
I love it.
So you've explained that well for Marcia. All right. Let's see. So I think let's and I think we have a pretty fair idea, but I've heard you mention who do you primarily work with? I've heard you mention men and women that approach you for some help in this area. But who do you primarily help or work with?
Sure. My sweet spot is women who are typically either in a season of transition in their life where they are approaching a new career change. They want to establish a wellness lifestyle wellness practice, or well habits. They are facing an internal shift that they want to make. Or they are interested in beginning a business but are feeling quite stuck. And so oftentimes as women who are in a season of transition, who are typically high performing in many areas of their life, but for some reason might be encountering feelings of inadequacy, of feeling stuck, and need support in figuring out why can I get past X? And so my specialty is helping women that group of women identify what are the barriers. We dive deep and then establishing an action plan to move beyond that by first building that foundation around what is true confidence and how do you build confidence so you can move beyond this particular barrier.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay, so I've just got a couple of brief announcements now that Ms. Leanne has gotten us just a little bit together this evening, okay? Because I know that's just the tip of the iceberg, okay? That's only scratching the surface, I know that. All right, so I just got a couple of quick end of broadcast announcements before we take your questions. If there's any more questions, you can start to put them in the question queue, okay? I do want you to go ahead and stay tuned for the next challenge. You know, we had the 21-day challenge at the beginning of the year in January. We've got another challenge coming up for our community, the One Small Change Challenge, okay? So that's going to start next month. Kind of coinciding with the Lenten season. So we're going to piggyback on that, and we're going to see what are the small changes that we can make towards having better health. Okay, so this challenge is going to be about 3 weeks long. Stay tuned for further details on it. Okay, the last challenge was awesome. So this is another opportunity to work with me in a group setting, so that you can kind of see what it's like, okay, and see if it's something that you like and something that can help you, okay? Let's see, we've got resistance loops, the resistance loops that I showed, I think last week and the week before, for those that are looking for some nice little equipment that is going to travel well and that you can have with you, that you can utilize home, gym while traveling. And I'm going to work on putting together and showing you some little workouts as well that you can use those loops for. Make sure that you get yours, get on the waiting list so that you can get yours, okay? Stay tuned, keep your finger on the pulse so that you know when those are going to come available, okay? And also PT concierge services are available. So for anyone that is going to be needing home therapy, either for themselves or for their loved ones, please do feel free to reach out to me either via DM or by IM so that you can get on my schedule for home therapy service, okay? On the Adley Physiotherapy schedule, okay? All right, let's see. Yeah, so Leanne, that's what I have going on. So what is it that you have going on at this time? What do you have that's upcoming? You have lots that's going on. You talked to us about your book. You talked to us about your 90-day program. You talked to us about your 12-month-long program, okay? So what do you have that's forthcoming? What's next?
So what's next is continuing in the work that I've started. So there are really 3 core ways to work with me. I mentioned the 2 programs, but I also have a course that is evergreen, that is a virtual course that you can take anytime that you want to, that really provides that true foundation for accelerating your confidence. So if you go to accelerateconfidence.com, you can learn more about that, or of course head to the link in my bio on Instagram. But I do want to offer up, a free gift to all of you for sitting here for this entire time. We know that you have many things going on, but you have prioritized yourself, and I am so for that. So if you go to confidenceunlocked.com, you can sign up for a complimentary coaching session with me this week. Get on the calendar this week. Like, don't wait. I have sessions that are available for you to take advantage of. And during that session, we'll begin to identify one area where there is opportunity for enhancement in the area. Specifically about how I can support you moving forward beyond that session. So go to confidenceunlocked.com, take advantage of the complimentary calls, and get on my schedule this week, and let's do that so I can get to know you a little bit better.
That was confidenceunlocked.com.
Yep.
All right. You all heard it here. You heard it here first. Okay. So please do go ahead and take advantage. Check out what Leanne has going on. Where else can people find you online?
So here on Instagram, I'm your confidence coach on Instagram, or Leanne.Sims. And you can probably find me right here through Dr. Adelaide's posts. So Leanne.Sims, or look up your confidence coach. I'm always on Instagram, so it's probably the easiest way to find me. But other places as well. So Instagram is probably the best place. But if you go to confidenceunlock.com as well, we can talk directly. You'll get right on my calendar.
Awesome. Awesome. Be sure that you take advantage of all of those. Okay. So any questions that we have at this time, any questions for Ms. Leanne Sims, your confidence coach, please do feel free to go ahead and drop them in the comments or in the questions queue at this time, and we'll go ahead and field those. So we'll just give it another minute or two for any questions that persons may have had. I know that we caught a few of the questions as we were going along, and they were all excellent questions. All right. So I do want to thank Leanne for coming and being my special guest this evening. Thank you so much for joining us and imparting so much knowledge. We truly appreciate your time and your effort in coming and sharing with us. We truly, truly appreciate that because to pour into others is an act of service. And we so, yes, you're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks to all of those that came and sat with us. Okay, gave us your time and attention for the last hour. Okay, we appreciate you all, each and every one of you. To all of the people that support us each as we go along on our journeys. Thanks to all of you as well. We need support too. When you pour into others, sometimes you need people to come and support you and help hold you up, and also some persons to come and pour back into you also. That's a great question. Who pours back into you, Leanne, if I may ask, as we get ready to wrap?
So I'm all for coaching. I have a coach. And so they pour back into me, and I'm very intentional about keeping those types of relationships. My pastor, I'm very closely connected to that. My husband, and I pour into myself. I'm very intentional, and I'm working to get better as well. Physically, I just signed up for a recurring massage sessions monthly because I realized, in addition to exercising and lifting weights and all those things, I need to practice relaxation, stretching, all those things is a part of my well-being as well. So always on the path to continue to work in. But those are a couple of areas I get poured into. How about you?
That is a great question. I think, like you, that I have to now take the time to pour into myself. I'm going to be taking much more time to myself because, sometimes you do kind of find that you're exhausted and drained and just, like, my God, I have nothing left. So I've definitely been there. It's been a challenge in this pandemic as well. But for me, I'm going to be much more intentional about taking time off. I'm someone that has always loved vacation, but has not vacationed as much due to the pandemic. So I think I'm going to start kind of getting back to that and just trying to take some time each quarter, even if it's only a couple of days, to just kind of sit back, reflect, and then I'd be able to get get some things, like you said, like the massages and all of that. I love a good spa day. I often only take them when I travel, so it may be wise for me to also take some time, even if I'm local, just to say, well, okay, let me take some time out and go and get a facial, because it's important to take care of yourself, right? And take time for yourself. So I know definitely one thing I wanted to also do is take better care of my skin this year. That's definitely a goal for me. So I've, started seeing the dermatologist for the first time of life. So just on a mission to take better care of myself. And, I would say that I also have to take more of an active role in seeking out new mentors, I think, to help and pour back into me also, because it's been a lot of outpouring and definitely not enough inpouring. So I've got to kind of rejuvenate, refresh, and kind of take care of all of these other aspects, because there are many different dimensions of wellness. So I got a couple of things that I'm working on doing, and also trying to basically be a little bit more social, which has been a little bit more of a challenge with the pandemic again. You kind of like disconnected from a lot of
Right.
things, people, activities. So trying to get back to that so that there's a little bit more interaction as well, because it's healthy. You mentioned self-isolating earlier. Definitely, I have been guilty of that.
Right.
So
Come out of the
yeah,
come out from hiding.
I gotta
I
come
see
out from under the rock.
I see Rachel, Esther, and Squeaky Clean join. Thanks for joining as well towards the end. Yes, come out. And I need to take a vacation to the Bahamas. So I'm going to
Yes.
you soon.
Definitely. Well, we're here. We love visitors and guests. I would definitely be sure to show you the best that we have to offer. So there's definitely an open invitation. You just let me know when you want.
You heard it
to
here
come.
first, folks.
Yeah.
So she got plenty. You know, I'm
She
gonna
got
play this replay.
She got up. Just clip that part out and play that back for me if I try to play crazy on you, okay?
I know you would never do that.
I
You don't
would
have to do
never.
that. You
I
don't have
would
a fake
never do
motive.
that to my special guest, because we do love visitors. We do love visitors here. Okay, so I would definitely do my best to show you the best time here, and I'm sure that you would enjoy it. So you just let me know, and you will be accommodated.
It is on.
All right, that sounds good. That sounds good. All right. Well, I don't see any further questions coming up. We did have some persons, so let me see. They gave you some nice comments here. We have Marcy said that this was great. Kara says thank you so much. Let's see. Awesome presentation there. It's from Rain. Marcia says that she'll have to watch the replay, most definitely, around the world with Nebula. Says great job. Yeah, we got a couple more persons that joined. Is that Riri popping in? Riri, things
Hey,
from
Riri.
my community there. Hi, Riri. Riri has become very active in the athlete physiotherapy community. So Riri, please know that your interaction has not gone unnoticed, and I appreciate every like, comment, share, follow. Okay, we're working on building up this community. Okay. Any parting words or comments, Leanne?
One, thank you for having me. It is indeed my honor to be in this interaction with you and getting the chance to meet you. You were not in isolation, but Dr. Felicia is one of those people who you ever have people on Instagram or social media. They say social media isn't real, but then you meet real people who you have a social connection with. You're always popping on their page or they're on your page. She was one of those people for me. And when she reached out about this live, I was like, yeah, of course, let's do it. When? So thank you so much. I know your community is so very important to you. So I appreciate the invitation and letting me share your platform for today. And what I would say, leaving with all of you, is consider that question. Do you feel worthy? Sit with that before you go to bed tonight for a couple of minutes and really think about it, journal about it if some things come to mind, and then begin to explore, how do I build and get at the core of building that worthiness? Because that's a lot of times at the core of feelings of inadequacy or low confidence. And then take advantage of your help. We talked about who pours into you. We both have people who pour into us. I'm intentional about it. I know Dr. Felicia is intentional about it. I need you to be intentional about it too. So let me be that person for you when it comes to confidence coaching. Reach out to me. I'm offering up those complimentary coaching calls. Go to confidenceunlock.com and let's have a conversation, right? Get the support that you need. Do not remain in isolation. So that's what I would love to leave with you all. And, thank you. Thank you too. Nice to meet some of you, some of the new faces here.
Wonderful. We thank you so much for coming. And I will share that it took some confidence for me to reach out to Leanne. You see people online and it's almost like, the online experience has been a whole eye opener for me, because it's like I was never even someone that would expect a person to answer me if I left a comment. I was like, oh my gosh, people actually answer you. I was like, this is great. I love this. So I'm like, really diving in. I dipped my toe in at the beginning of last year, and then I just like dove all the way in. So then it's like, wow, like she actually answered, but it took a lot of confidence for me to even ask someone like Leanne that's accomplished so much and is doing so well in life and online to come on, with me, So I was
Oh,
pleasantly surprised by Leanne accepting this invitation.
that's too funny. I
it,
love it.
it
That's
is.
my honor. You are special too. My best guy
Oh.
friend from growing up from high school is on the line. Kev, hey Kev, we're finishing up here.
Yes, for this replay, I will put it up as soon as we get done here. I will post this up on the Instagram page, and it'll show up on Facebook pretty much right after we end this as well. So for anybody that may have missed it, you'll have an opportunity to watch it back. But I think we'll wrap there. We thank you so much for taking your time with us this evening, and we're going to sign off. Dr. Felicia and Leanne Sims. So Dr. Felicia signing off for the evening. We'll see you hopefully back here next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. Next week's topic is going to be lupus. Okay, so we hope that you would join me here on Adelaide Physio. Okay, if you have not followed, please be sure to do so. Okay, so signing off, Dr. Felicia, making the world healthier, one woman at a time.
I love it.
Good night.
Good night.